We live. What's good, everybody?
Not much.
How about you, Rambo?
Not much,
Doing
really.
well. Any new platinums?
Ah, it's just Alien Isolation.
Oh shit! Wow,
Yeah,
that one took a while.
yeah. It took two. Well, actually, three playthroughs if you count the very first one that I did back in 2014. But otherwise, it took two full playthroughs and some time-consuming, sit and wait for the alien to go by before I could get out or whatever. It was quite a while, a lot of hours.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I like that
It was a
game.
pretty fun game. I liked the how it was a little more horror-y than some of the other ones.
I never got to play it, so I
That's
can't really say much on it.
that's too bad. It was fun. I don't know if it beats the originals though, man.
So
AV,
like, I'm telling about the old Alien games that
AV,
everyone didn't
AVP
like.
2, Alien vs Predator 2. What's up, Garuda? I think that
And
one's
they
my
were,
favorite of all of them. Although I actually liked the newer Alien vs Predator. Colonial Marines sucked. That one was no bueno. I mean, it might as well have just been a standard shooter. But I mean, really, it really just felt like an upgraded maybe Counter Strike or Call of Duty, except with aliens, instead of other people. And it just wasn't, yeah, it wasn't great. But the newer one, I think that's just called Alien vs Predator. Yeah. Um, I actually like that one. I know a bunch of people didn't like it, but
Alien vs Predator. It seems alright. I haven't really like played it. I do have the game, but I just haven't really got around to playing it.
I liked it. It was fun. It was scary enough. I mean, not too scary. It's all just kind of jump scares and shit like that. But that's aliens. So I like what they did with health, where it's three. Well, at least for the humans, it's three big chunks, and each chunk will regenerate. But once you've lost the chunk, it won't unless you use like a health pack. I think they did the weapons well. Story was decent enough. I mean, it's just a Alien versus Predator, so you're on some alien planet, and obviously there's aliens and predators there, and everybody's trying to kill everybody else. But yeah, it wasn't bad. Yeah,
There is
Garuda.
some news.
Oh, go ahead.
There's gonna be apparently the EU struck down the new copyright law that was thrown up.
Oh, did
Well,
they?
it's not shut down. It's not shut down. They
Well,
they
they said it's
didn't vote on
rejected.
it. Well, they didn't hear on it, listen on it because they didn't want to give any time to it. So they kind of basically put it on the back burner until they can come up and actually discuss it debate it back and forth.
Oh man, they need to kill that.
It doesn't seem to make sense at all. Like, I'm not even sure what's the main point of implementing it. I'm lost when it comes to like, what's the point? You know what I mean?
Well, I
Or what?
mean,
You're just gonna kill every mini journalist outlet, so everyone has to like watch the whatever
yeah,
the
pretty much. I
mainstream
mean,
news
that's
in
their
British.
biggest thing is it's they get to control practically everything on the internet.
In
It's
for EU, not necessarily for America.
no, but those things have a habit of slipping outside of their intended areas.
It's well for mainstream sites, it probably will. Like for Twitter and stuff, they would have had to change it. But for like small journalist outlets, they probably would have to like block EU entirely, like just block it out
Pretty
from the
much.
website.
And I think that's what they're going for, is that only approved news sites and other things like that get to basically operate in the EU, which means they get to control practically everything about how news or information gets distributed in the it's not exactly
The world.
well, it's not exactly a continent, but it's not exactly a country either. I don't know what you would call the EU. But
Oh, and what's the ADL?
Anti-Defamation League.
Oh, because this is an article from The Verge. I think is the ADL plans to take on Gamergate hate in gaming.
Oh, geez.
So
Yeah.
the
Well, the
article says
ADL is a lot like the what's the other one?
Southern Poverty Law Center.
Yes, Southern Poverty Law Center. Yeah, they're almost identical. So they have a habit of doing I mean, they're an anti-defamation league, and yet all they do is defame uh, groups, and I don't know if they've gone after like individual celebrities or whatever, but it wouldn't surprise me if they had, or politicians or something like that. But
they've been going after Trump for a while.
oh yeah,
That should be a shock.
yeah, they hate Trump, they hate Republicans, they hate any journalist that's not left of center.
What the hell? It says apparently on this article it's saying Fortnite's a platform and League of Legends is a platform. That doesn't make sense to me, at least. Because those are just games. Like, if you want to say the PC is a platform, it is a platform, but
Well,
League of Legends
I
is
mean,
not a platform.
It depends on what you consider a platform. If you consider a platform something where you can express your opinion, then technically they kind of are.
Like, how are you gonna express your opinion in League? Like, what? When
In
you
chat.
had someone like call him a faggot?
Yeah, in chat or in voice chat or something like. I mean, like I said, it depends on what you consider a platform, and of course they love extending their definitions to include anything possible. So it wouldn't surprise me. I would assume they would consider any World of Warcraft or any game where you can talk to other people would be a platform.
Jesus. I don't know. Is it me or are you sick of hearing about Gamergate?
It's hilarious. I mean,
when Gamergate was around, gamers were dead, and Gamergate was dead. But now that Gamergate's actually dead, it's all of a sudden alive.
well, they need a
You know,
boogeyman.
what?
They need a master villain behind. They need a Dr. Evil that they can point to whenever anything bad happens.
And the rest of this article is nothing special. I just read through it. It's just the typical stupid shit you would expect.
Usually is.
In terms of like, that's what I found so far. That's might be interesting.
I mean, I got us a bunch of stuff from last week. I haven't even really checked Reddit or anything. But there was, oh man, I can't remember her name, but remember that restaurant that wouldn't serve Trump's
Huckabee
people?
Sanders, that's her name. Are you talking about Sarah Huckabee Sanders?
No, she's
The one that Trump speaks for, whatever.
No. Oh no. Was she with the one that was kicked out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember. Like, it was the Red Rooster. Was that I think it was Red Rooster. Was the name of the restaurant that kicked him out, and I don't know if it was the CEO or the owner or whatever they called her, but the owner, I think, was also a member of the. It's kind of like a what do they call that? For like cities, there's usually a group, Merchants Council, something like that, where they do promotions and they advertise for attractions in the city to other cities, or like if you want to get information about businesses in the area, you can go to them and stuff like that. Well, she was on the board for that, and they made her step down. uh,
This just never ends.
oh, it was hilarious because she's supposed to be representing businesses, and yet her business doesn't want to serve customers.
That's that's a little stupid, but you know they can go out of business. It's fine. Not the end of the world.
I'm sure they will. I just the best part about all that is it's hilarious how a baker's got to bake a cake or a caterer's got to cater a wedding or any of that kind of stuff. But they have no problem with a business refusing to serve somebody strictly based on their political leanings or, what party they belong to or whatever you want to classify it as. Swear to God,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, I just found something. Apparently, the Bioware devs are opening up about like the whole Mass Effect Andromeda thing, where they kind of blame Zelda for Mass Effect Andromeda failing.
I read something about, or I saw an article, the headline where it said that the BioWare devs were blaming other games for the failure of Andromeda, and I didn't read it because whatever, but like Zelda, really?
Zelda, which Zelda's not even that much of an RPG, it's more of like an action exploring
Well,
type
it's
game.
not even on the same platform. What did they think? That all these PC players and Xbox players and all that, they ran out and bought Switches and got Zelda instead of Andromeda? Like, how does that even work? It's not even the same. It's not even the same like type of platform. I mean, it's not even like Xbox versus PlayStation or something like that. Like that's the Switch. It's not even
And
the
the
same
Switch literally
thing.
just came out as soon as Zelda did.
God.
Like, Zelda was a launch game on the Switch, so it was like the Switch was not for a day.
Although I could see people doing anything up to and including buying a Switch and Zelda instead of buying Andromeda. But I don't think there's a lot of people who did that. Like,
Yeah, even the Zelda did sell well, but
I don't. It says I'll put it this way. I don't see a lot of people being uh, driven to Zelda because of Andromeda.
yeah, but it's a simple like they're just I guess they're trying to blame because Zelda was like the shit for that month because that's all everyone talked about for that entire month was Zelda.
I guess wasn't even that great of a game.
I thought exploring was fun. That's about it. The combat kind of sucked because every time you used a weapon, it broke instantly, so it kind of is not interesting in that regard. But exploring is fun. I did like walking around, climbing up mountains, doing shit like that. Like everything but the fighting.
Yeah, it's kind of weird too, because well, yeah.
The guy who did the Halo music, Marty O'Donnell, he could be going back to Halo for the new Halo game, Infinity.
I don't even remember the Halo music, so
I think that's pretty good for when it came out. That's all I got.
there was a. I gotta read the thing here. Is that South Korean? Yeah, South Korean Overwatch hacker was sent to prison,
Jeez, that's a little much.
right? I guess he was selling the program, so it wasn't just he hacked in game or whatever, but he was selling a hacking program, and he made over 180 grand.
Damn, he got
Yeah.
off like a bandit. If he just stopped and like just shut everything down and ran away, he could have came out with that much money. Just fucking, you know. I mean,
To see what there's 2 hackers were sentenced earlier this year, both from South Korea. One of them received 2-year probation and the other a $10,000 fine. The punishment is harsher in this case due to the large amount of profit made from the hacking, but it doesn't say what the. Where does it say? Oh, 1-year prison sentence and 2-year probation for this guy. So, shit. Yeah. Get some.
he kind of got. Well, I guess it's maybe for the money, not necessarily because he was doing hacking. But I guess they take that very seriously over there.
Well, it's a big problem. I don't know how much about in South Korea, but certainly in China, it's a huge problem. So I could imagine that it's a much bigger problem than over here.
Probably. But, you know, it's where the cookie crumble, I guess. That's how they say it.
And then a player during a Dota 2 finals with a $15 million prize was kicked for using macros.
That seems. What's a macro? Like, just a quick question.
Setting up like a keystroke or something to do a bunch of commands in a row.
Oh.
So you can use it to set up like a combo.
Well.
I mean, it's usually not considered cheating. I mean, shit, keyboards and mice and shit have had macro keys for forever. I used to use them all the time in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, but I guess now it's considered cheating with esports changing it up again.
Valve has disqualified a South American Peruvian Dota 2 team called Thunder Predator from the International 2018. The removal was under the pretense of the player Attune using macros. Attune was using the Razer Synapse program to program mouse keys. Team has been busted, blah 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 blah. That's really weird though what they're saying, because they said that he used macros to be able to teleport several characters at once, which is not possible without some kind of manual configuration software. Yes, it is. I could have swore there's a way you can select all of your. There's even a button for it to select all of your hero units at once, and you should be able to use a single keystroke to teleport them all. It depends on what they're using to teleport, I guess. But
I have known nothing about Dota 2 because I've never played it, so I don't really know what you're talking about. Like you're teleporting, I'm like, oh, something like that.
yeah, I really like Eurogamer put out this article. It's time to start running from gaming addiction.
Oh my god, that whole controversy.
Of course, he brings up World of Warcraft. Like, how come not EverQuest,
bro?
bruh?
Stereotypical thing, even though the standards show like that were set by the health organization. I guarantee you, like Rambo probably is considered having gaming addiction. Just that 1 week trying to get Alien Isolation Platinum.
Probably.
Like the standard, it's like such a wide net. It's not like 60 hours or something like that, like absurd hours a week. No, it's like 25, and it's like the average American watches more TV. Nah, it's so fuck.
Oh yeah, isn't it like an average of like 4 hours of TV a day?
Yeah, and it's like I think 35 hours a week. At least that's what I heard, and I think that's the actual number. That or maybe a bit lower. And it's kind of ridiculous because it's like this gaming addiction thing. I don't know. it doesn't really seem that harmless, if you know what I mean.
As far as
I'm
other
trying,
as far as other addictions go, it's certainly not the worst by far.
I mean, they're willing. Like, remember, remember comp? They said I think they're doing this. Remember they used to do the same thing in comic books. Try to say comic books were the problem, like in certain cases.
What up, Jay Caesar?
It's kind of like I'm thinking they're trying to like stigmatize gaming because they kind of failed. Like the whole video game violent argument is kind of dead now. So they're this like the last leg of an old generation trying to take out an industry. You guys can say.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
But if we're talking about actual problems, I mean, social media addiction,
Oh
like,
yeah, for
seems
sure.
to actually be
Well,
harmful.
it's interesting
Like,
they don't have like cell phone addiction or social media addiction or yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna go off my experience. Like, I was kind of addicted to Twitter, like, kind of, and so when I got suspended, it kind of like I was free. You know what I mean? Like, I was always checking and going off like our people around me. I knew people who literally just who dropped their phone for 1 minute and then immediately start checking their Instagram, thinking something might be different. And there's one clip where these girls are at a baseball game, and this guy got like a home run, and they were all looking at their phone.
How many pictures are there of people sitting around a restaurant table and every one of them's got their phone out?
Everyone's on their phone
Yep. And even lots of them are talking to each other on social
on the
media.
phone.
Well, yeah, while they're literally 2 feet away from each other. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
I guess you're gonna have to wait until like 10 to 20 years go by, and once that happens, people might finally wake up to social media addiction. They might consider it a problem. They might, but aren't some of the effects that it could lead to depression, like social media addiction?
Oh,
Like
definitely.
from
Yeah. The whole social media setup is completely
is to get you
designed.
addicted at.
Well, yeah, it's completely designed to be like totally addictive and make you depressed when you aren't using it.
Wasn't there a guy who invented that idea but then regretted it after? I can't remember his name, but I hear it all the time.
I
Like the
don't
dude who used to work for Facebook and came up with the whole system to get people hooked on social media.
I don't know. PUBG is dropping their lawsuit against Fortnite.
Did they realize it backfire? Guys?
I don't know. I don't think they had a.
There was no reason given.
PUBG sent a letter of withdrawal to Epic's attorneys on Monday, and the South Korean case has since closed. PUBG and its law firm confirmed the action but would not say why, nor whether a settlement had been reached. Representatives for Epic had no immediate comment. Yeah. Stephanie Wilkinson, that was the name of the. She was the Red Hen. That's a co-owner of the Red Hen. Steps down as executive director of Main Street Lexington, which is a. Yeah, it's a volunteer-based organization which helps to enhance and promote downtown Lexington. So that was hilarious. She can get fucked. This was fun. Laura Ingalls Wilder removed from book award over racist language.
What was the language? What'd you say?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah, anti-native, anti-black, so I'm sure if not nigger, then maybe, red skin or something like that was in, I think, was it, so I'm trying to think of, I don't know, see if the article has it, because what book? Said Wilder's novels and expressions of stereotypical attitudes were inconsistent with ALSC's core values.
Always comes down to that.
Yeah, here we go. The Little House books. So Little House on the Prairie and stuff. Described a
Oh,
land
I
with
heard this story
yeah, with
about the late.
no
That she
people,
just
only the Indians lived here.
that she wasn't really a fan of Native Americans or Indians, but I don't know.
Well, it's like if you could even get that from her books or whatever,
You couldn't, because I remember reading those.
I mean,
Definitely
like,
didn't
because
hear that.
so a character says the only good Indian is a dead Indian, but it's like, does that reflect what she thinks, or is that just a character? That it's impossible to tell. So unless you have
Unproved.
writings that she's done outside of the books where she says I hate Indians and this, that, and the other. So yeah, they're because what was it? A while ago I read that a school had removed what's the Harper Lee novel about the black guy that gets accused of rape? Atticus Finch. To Kill a Mockingbird.
That's what. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Never
a
read that book.
school had removed To Kill a Mockingbird from their reading list because racism and this, that, and the other. Jesus Christ.
Are they like ban history class? I'm thinking this is where it leads. Are we gonna have book burnings maybe? We have the book burnings.
I wouldn't doubt it. Blizzard is applying for a patent on Overwatch's play of the game system.
That's why.
Because they're greedy fucks and they don't want anybody else to have a system like that, even though I don't understand.
It's been around for a while.
Well, I don't know. Understand how you could patent that? I mean, it would be like patenting being able to do instant replays in a sports game, on a sports game on TV or something.
Patent replays.
Yeah,
on TV.
yeah, it'd be just like patenting that, like what the fuck.
Trying to imagine how would that look. But fuck Blizzard. That's the main message of that.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work out.
You think they will get the patent, or is it's dead in the water type thing?
I don't know. Well, yeah, JCs are like, what does the system in Call of Duty where it just plays the last kill of the game, does that count? Or yeah, like there's so many things. Because one of the things they used to describe it was key events are recorded in an Overwatch maps, timestamps are recorded, then the system then selects the top player for a given category before playing or displaying a replay. So yeah, like does anything that displays a replay that happened in the game, does that? Yeah.
What about the Call of Duty Final Kill Cam?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You think that'll get away with it because it's an Activision-owned game, Call of Duty?
Yeah, I don't know. This site says approved, but I think the thing, the patent itself wasn't approved. It was just approved for, oh shit. It was just approved for consideration or something like that. But
I hope it doesn't go through.
I really hope so too. And there was, because it's just like when that company patented arrows pointing, a 3D arrow pointing to the objective.
Oh god.
Yeah, and that was for the longest times games couldn't have 3D arrows that pointed to an objective because another company had it patented. And it's, how could you allow that to be fucking patented? As the silliest
They
fucking
have to get
shit.
creative about it. You have to like put like a giant grenade.
Yeah, fucking stupid. This was interesting. I guess there was Twitch drama between Amaranth and Alinity.
Are these boob streamers?
One of them, yeah. Amaranth is a boob streamer who does ASMR and cosplay in the IRL.
Oh,
yeah.
is Amaranth the chick that it came out leaked that she was married and everyone freaked out about it?
No. She was, she had a boyfriend?
I think it was married because I remember watching a video about it. I think it came out that she was married.
It was basically, she said she was single, and even to the point was that like she had a stream where she said she was taking boyfriend applications and some others. Yeah.
I see you have to pay $100 to get in, right?
Well, some guy donated 13 grand. Yeah, there was a.
Are lonely guys loaded with cash?
Oh, like some of them are, of course. But yeah, so she basically insinuated that that she has been married for a while. So she was married. She said she was single to the point of putting up streams that said looking for boyfriend or taking boyfriend applications and shit like that. And so there was another, I think, Alinity, who I don't know.
Did she get called out for it?
Well, yeah, Alinity called her out. And I don't know who Alinity is though, so they don't say in here like what kind of stream.
I think Alinity is the one that called that PewDiePie did a video on.
The Twitch thoughts?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
PewDiePie.
Yeah, PewDiePie was the one that called Alinity out, and then Alinity tried to copyright strike and do all that shit. Yeah. So then Polygon makes an article about both of these two, because there was somebody that called out Amaranth.
What are they gonna call each other out for? Like you're lying to single, whatever.
Well, it wasn't Alinity. It was somebody else. That was, yeah. These were two different things. But somebody called Amaranth out because obviously she's married. What's up, Hailstorm? And straight up being disingenuous with her audience. Obviously baiting these dudes into thinking they have a shot with her when it's even worse than the normal because yeah, she's married and like that's yeah. So yeah, Polygon writes this article basically fucking white knighting this shit for these chicks.
What are they gonna say? This poor innocent woman who lied on camera. We need to play violin for her.
Yep, probably. Let's see if I can get the actual article up here. Yeah, streamer Amaranth is the latest example of Twitch thought harassment problem.
Twitch thought. Fucking love PewDiePie for starting that trend, calling them all Twitch thoughts.
Amaranth says she suffered harassment and doxing threats.
Doxing threats. You always hear that every time they tell these stories, like doxing threats. but they're not true. So it's kind of like this one, bring them up. You know what I mean?
What's up, Rambo?
I'm trying to think.
What's up, Go Get?
Some developer. I forgot what Guild Wars 2. One of the female writers and the male writers were said something online about like creating a storyline or whatever, and a guy that happens to be like a Guild Wars professional player like suggested something different, like, you know, maybe the problem isn't this, the problem is that, and she was like, it's 2018, guys, and here I am, something like basically saying that here I am, a female dev, and here I have some basically Joe Schmo telling me, you know, how to do my job whenever I'm the one who has actually been doing it, not him. And it got to the point to where, like, it was quite the spectacle. Another employee that's actually been there for 13 years joined in, to White Knighter, and saying that he was harassing her. He's like, everybody's like, how the hell did you harass her? He just simply asked the question. He said, is it going to get to the point where lifetime players can't even ask a question? He's like, these are our private accounts. We don't have to be nice or whatever. And he said, this is Twitter. He said, you put it on a public forum. It's not private at all. And the Guild Wars manager or owner of the company fired both of the employees, the female and the male, the 13-year veteran and the female. And Eurogamer wrote an article talking about how basically she was railroaded. She should have been just talked to, but not fired, because that was just wrong.
God.
Oh, I think I know what the context was. Basically, this guy was because one of the exclamation was saying that in MMOs, it's kind of hard to make a protagonist, like a main protagonist in like MMOs.
Yeah, and he said it's not. He said, yeah, and he said it's not really pertaining just to MMOs, as your comment suggests. He said it's, you know, just make a compelling storyline or whatever, and that's really all anybody really cares about. And she's like, female. Here I am, a female dev, and
here I am,
2018, and
being ordered by a man.
He's telling me how to do my job, or whatever like that. And I mean, she thought, I guess, everybody was going to come to defense, and she even doubled down, was like, look, this is my personal account. I don't have to be nice to you, basically jackasses or whatever. And
she got fired.
She got fired.
And then Polygon, I guarantee you, wrote a defense saying how it was.
No,
awful.
It was Eurogamer. Talking about how basically it was toxic masculinity at its best and stuff like that.
God.
Fucking. It's always toxic masculinity, man. Like, it's always, I don't know.
Oh, so guess what I saw last week pop up on Netflix?
Oh no.
The Last Jedi.
Did you finally watch it?
No, fuck no. I'm not even, no, But I just think it's hilarious that it hasn't even been like 6 months, right? I mean, when did, now I gotta look that up. And then Last Jedi
it came out on Blu-ray, like I think way earlier, but I feel bad for any sucker who bought that Blu-ray.
December, so yeah, December, January, February, March, April, May. It's just over 6 months, and that movie's already on fucking Netflix.
I like how everybody tells me that everybody does these polls on Twitter, and
they love the movie.
Yeah, and they're like, everybody says they hated the movie, but I mean, look at the numbers prove that they don't. You know, like, I don't know what. And I'm like going, you do realize that you're polling the same people that are following you that have the same opinions as you.
Or at least
so it's kind of hard for you to say what is right and what's wrong. I mean, you're just getting a damn echo chamber of the poll.
I like this steaming hot take here from Vice. CD Projekt Red won't commit to gender fluidity in Cyberpunk 2077 in parentheses yet.
Fuck off! I swear, please don't SJW that game.
Right? Please
Oh,
no.
that game is going to be SJW. You already know that.
I I have hope it won't, because CD Projekt Red were the targets of SJW way back when The Witcher 3 came out.
Well, they've
They
been
not remember
putting up
that.
with that for since at least Witcher 2. I hope if they do anything with it, they make fun of it.
Oh my god, can you imagine they make fun of it? Dude,
Oh, it'd be dude, in a Cyberpunk game. Oh, it'd be glorious. It'd be absolutely glorious.
I was thinking, that'd be hilarious though, thinking about like how the mission be. They had some random homeless chick saying, "I'm gender fluid, come at me."
Ugh.
How would they make fun of it though in the game itself, story wise? Like, what would they say? Oh, that's just Mrs.
Well,
thinking
you
she's a helicopter.
you could have like parodies characters, you know, a gender fluid, you know, trans something or other, who just fucking is absolutely crazy and makes everything about her gender and shit like that. I mean, there's lots of ways you could do something like that. But yeah, I guess not Vice. Oh yeah, Vice. Um, I guess
I
they
hate
have
Vice.
a problem with the original
Gender
tabletop.
fluidity.
Well, if you decide to, or let's see, and one version of the game has a sketchy history when it comes to gender. If you decide to undergo a sex change, as the game puts it, you lose part of your humanity. A stat that, if driven down enough, results in cyberpsychosis, where you lose control of the character and the game master takes over.
Oh my god, that sounds like a cool mechanic. I'll be honest.
Well, and it has to do with everything. Like if you get, I have not played the tabletop game, but
It's
I've
probably body transformation.
yeah,
of any
anything.
kind.
Like if you get an arm replaced with a cybernetic arm, or you get like part of your brain replaced or something. Like I said, I haven't played the game myself, but I've seen a couple people play it, and I've read about the game a bunch. And yeah, it's anything at all that you do. Like even I think like using like their magic, whatever their magic is. I know it's not magic, but there's some similar thing where you use either cybernetics or something like that to do some kind of magic effects. Like, and you know, if you do too much of that kind of stuff, it'll do the same thing. And yeah, it's all just basically if you let too much of the machine take over, then you lose control of your character because the machinery parts, you know, take over or something. But
This is awesome.
yeah, it's an
You're
interesting,
selling me on the game just by this talk.
right? It's an interesting ass mechanic, and it seems like it, like on a tabletop game, obviously that's interesting enough, but in a video game, I could see it being like completely cool because you know there's no game master, there's actually the game system, and you know what would happen? Like, do you get partial
You
control
go
of your
haywire on
character,
a
or
stabbing spree.
yeah, like, and then, you know, how long does it last? And do you have to like deal with the aftermath afterwards? Like you go crazy and you kill a bunch of people or something like that, and then you wake up and now all of a sudden you've got the cops on your ass or something like that for, you know, obviously you did it, but it wasn't something that you consciously did.
You constantly did. It's kind of like drunk. It's kind of like just getting like blackface, shark eyes, drunk, and then not remembering what happened the next day. Then realizing, oh, I'm in jail.
Yeah, or I fucked this chick or, you know, whatever. Yeah, it'd be interesting. It seems like a cool thing to play with, and I bet you could do a whole bunch more with it too. But
How is that controversial for Vice though?
well,
This whole
because you
movie
lose
thing?
your humanity when you get a sex change, of course.
It's transphobic.
Yeah. How dare you imply that trans people are have less humanity than regular people?
I think it's just for a mechanic. I don't think it's a no.
Well, nothing's too unimportant to
To write
These
an article
fuckers.
about.
yeah, to make a major deal about. Murmuring among skeptical fans ranges from unsurprising bigotry, quote, that type of shit has no place in a game like this. We don't need our favorite game and possibly the game of the decade plagued by gender politics like we already suffer from in real life. Jesus fucking Christ. to your
Oh my
typical
god, dude, that sounds like such a bigot. Like, I just want to fucking bite Locke and just smash him in the head. You know what I mean? Just, what a bigot. Am I right?
to your typical straw man arguments about how, quote, the list of genders is long, theoretically endless. Uh, how can they fucking say that when it grew from like 3 genders? It was
To like infinity.
now there's like 700 and something. It's grown faster than Pokemon, dude. It took Pokemon like 10 years. It took them over a decade to go from like the original 150 to now I don't know how many they have now, but it's
I
like
think like maybe close to 1,000 now.
it's close to 800. Yeah, it's somewhere between 700 and 1,000 or something. But it took them a decade to do that, and in less than like 3 years, we've gone from 2 genders to then 3 and 4, and now there's like 700. The fuck? How could they even say that that's a straw man?
But it's us. We're the crazy ones. You know, we're always the crazy ones.
Ugh.
I don't think I don't think it will have an effect. This whole gender politics. And when they say fans, by the way, like the non-fans, like them.
Oh, sure. Yeah, because nobody that cares about gender fluidity is going to buy Cyberpunk 2077.
It's fact, like I'm just how that game's not gonna be. Is it pre-alpha right now? At least that's everyone says it's in pre-alpha right now. So the game's not gonna come out for at least maybe like 4 or 5 years.
No, I thought they said it was going to be early or maybe mid 2018.
I'm thinking it might take longer because
maybe
because it says pre-alpha.
Yeah, but those distinctions don't always have like what does pre-alpha mean?
Does it mean that's?
I mean, I know that
alpha,
there's a distinction between alpha and beta. Beta is the introduction of people who were not involved in the design process. So, people who didn't work on the game are now involved. So fair enough, that's an actual distinction. When it goes from alpha to beta, that means you've given it to people who weren't involved in making the game and they're testing it out as well. Fine. But it's not like, what really is the difference between alpha and pre-alpha? And I mean, just because you're in alpha doesn't mean a game there could be 2 games both in alpha and then they both go to beta on the same date. But that doesn't mean that they're both in the same area of development. I mean, one of them could be way far out. One could be a decade away from being released, and one could just be like 6 months away from being released. It's not like those are hard and fast numbers or anything. So
that's what everyone's been saying about Cyberpunk. Like everyone's saying, just keep your expectations in low because the game's not going to be out for I'd say a long time. Like keep them just a bit low, like 2019 to
2019, June 2019.
You want to make that bet here?
Well, that's not. I mean, that's less than a year away now. Trism, what's up, motherfucker?
I mean, I hope it's in a year. Like, I would fucking love to play Cyberpunk in like a year, but I'm not gonna be holding my breath. You know what I mean?
No, I won't be holding my breath either. But that's the thing, right? They're a fairly good-sized studio. I mean, I know when it was Witcher 1 and Witcher 2, they were pretty small, but Witcher 3 they increased their size quite a bit. I don't know exactly how many people they have, but it's a decent amount. They're a medium-sized studio, right? They haven't been working on anything else since Witcher 3. So, and that game released quite a while ago. So they've had a good long time.
In 2015, so it's been a while.
Yeah. So they've had, at the very least, and that's just assuming that they weren't working on it at all even before because they could have been working on it before The Witcher 3 released. So was it like 70, Caesar? I thought it was somewhere around 50, but who knows? But I know it was real small when they were working on Witcher 1 and 2, like 10 or 20 people, and then when Witcher 3 was being developed, they added a bunch, and I'm assuming they added a few more since then too. So yeah, 70 is a decent sized studio for. I mean, that's not indie anymore. You're on your way to being a pretty.
I would say maybe I can. What's it? There's AAA, indie, and then whatever the mid tier one is, AA. That's what I call it.
Yeah, you're at least in the mid range there. So, and at least 3 years working on the game, at least. So, and that's just that game, not any. As far as I know, they don't have anything else on their plate. So I don't know. That's a lot of man hours that they've had to work on it. And now, granted, it's a big game, and they obviously have a lot of intention for it. So
And
I
it's a
mean,
first-person shooter, so it's well, that's what everyone says. It's in first person. I'm not gonna say it's like a first-person shooter.
well,
But I
they
mean,
they
it's in
said
first person.
they said first person shooter. Yeah,
So I'd say maybe it's gonna be like Deus Ex, which
I'd
that
I'd,
would be
I'd
awesome.
love it. Yeah, a more cyber because Deus Ex is kind of cyberpunk, but eh,
I mean, Deus Ex: Human Revolution is one of my favorite games ever made.
Human Revolution was the second to last one.
Yeah, it's the one
Yeah,
that the new studio made. Like, or not the new studio, but it's like the one that they released back in 2010, 2011.
yeah. What's the new one? I always get those two confused.
Mankind Divided.
Mankind Divided. Yeah, yeah. I actually like Mankind Divided, but
I
yeah,
haven't gone through like
I
I
haven't
think I've
beat it
played
yet.
like 2 hours so far.
Yeah, I won't say. So far, Human Revolution is my favorite because I actually have beaten that one. But what's up, Trism?
Hey,
What you up to?
I started working.
Oh,
I
Got a
don't-
job.
Yeah, I know, right? Who the fuck?
Wait, first, you're a gamer. You're not supposed to be getting to work.
Yeah, well,
Stay inside.
apparently you have like, apparently you're supposed to move out of your house or something at
Oh,
when you get
sounds
older or some
terrible.
shit. I don't know.
Terrible.
It's fucking-
Absolutely terrible.
Yeah. And, I mean, everybody's been telling me I need to get a job and have my own money and income. I never got it, but whatever. So now I'm working, and they have me working like 8 to 4 on the weekdays.
What's your job? Are you working in like some trash
You-
fast food place?
No, you know CVS, pharmacy or whatever.
Think so.
Yep.
Yeah, I pretty much work there. I'm sort of the person who like I'll bring in stuff from the trucks, stock them on the shelves, simple things like that. I usually work on the floor.
Definitely got better than me. I'm a janitor, so
Well, how much do you get paid?
I get paid around I think like $15.80.
An hour?
Yes. Well, that's easier because minimum wage got raised here, and it's a whole complicated situation. Why is the case?
I get paid $9 an hour, for 30 hours a week.
Yeah, but there's differences though, because stuff here is more expensive, and my place hasn't hired a lot of people and had to fire a lot of people because, well, it's complicated. The previous people who were in charge, like before Doug Ford came in, like they were gonna raise minimum wage to $15. Like so, your average McDonald's worker was gonna make $15.
well, no, they wouldn't. They'd be out of a job
Exactly.
because they'd
That's-
have a robot
that's-
replacing them.
That and
That's
they
what-
just wouldn't be hired because it would be too expensive to hire workers.
And it's mainly affected small businesses. I think tons of small businesses were gonna go out of business if the minimum wage got raised to $15. It's at I think 14 right now, 14 or like 13
Where do
80?
you live?
Where?
in Canada.
Yeah, I live in Canada. It's 1360.
It's 13.60 right now, and even
And it's
then,
going
I
to
consider that
15
too
in
much.
October. It's going to 15 in October, apparently.
Oh, I don't
Which
know.
I really
'Cause
don't like.
that works out to about $10 an hour US, right?
No, 1360 is about 1040 US. So that'd be like maybe
It's-
11.
That's what
dollars.
uh,
I don't know.
That's what
A
California
lot.
is.
It's too much. It's too much. That's what I'm saying.
Because I know over here I get paid, like I said, $9, and that's slightly over. In Texas, the minimum wage is $7.25.
Well, you also
And-
got to because like minimum wage in Cali is $10, but the cost of living is also like double what it would be anywhere else.
I live in Alberta, and it's like more expensive to live here as well compared to anywhere else. So
I
sort
live
of the
in
same thing, but
I live in a small town in Ontario, so it's not as like terrible. But actually, I'd say it's pretty terrible because there's like the only way you can live here is with houses or condos, and those will cost you. I think like for a house, maybe like I'm not even sure how much a house would be, but I know for a condo, it'd be like a 15,000 to 20,000 down payment you'd have to make.
Jesus.
Yeah, so cost of living is really high here. And there's no apartments, so it's not like you can come here to rent an apartment, so you're shit out of luck.
Like, yeah, that Texas, that's 760 or whatever it is in Texas.
725.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money for Texas.
It is.
'Cause, like, Go ahead.
I was gonna say we also have somewhat high. I don't know what you call it. What is it? It's not income tax, but it's the tax that it might be income tax. I don't know. What is it? Whenever they take money out of your you're on
Paycheck?
payroll. Yeah, they take money out of your paycheck.
I don't
if
know
you're on
what it's
payroll.
exactly called, but
Well,
for us,
It's all
they
lumped
like
in under
50%.
income tax, but then they'll call it,
Yeah, I know.
you know, Social Security or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly Social Security and benefits and stuff. But the thing is, I don't know. What does that affect people who work full time or just part time?
No,
Or
both. Yeah.
It
Okay,
affects
yeah.
Because back when I was
Because-
working part time, it affected me. Back when
So I'm
I
not
worked at
working. But
no, see, back when I was working at, like McDonald's and Burger King, it affected me big time.
because I'm not working full time, I'm just working
Oh, let's see.
part-time.
Wait, 3.
So Texas doesn't have any inherent income tax. It's just sort of lumped together with other things that it takes out.
I would
Others-
just. I don't want to like sound like an asshole, but I'd be happy if minimum wage is $9 because at least you can guarantee your job will be around for a while. Because here, since minimum wage is getting raised up, a lot of people who work at McDonald's, because I have a full-time job and my boss likes me, so I should be relatively safe. I'm not like in like you know what I mean, like I'm relatively safe. But people who are part-time workers, they're practically fucked. Like they are fucked. There's nothing to it.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like I just started today. Is actually my first day. Started at Little Caesars, but they need a lot of people all the time for some reason.
It's a
And
pizza
so,
place.
Those shitty
Yeah,
pizzas
so
are hard to
like-
make, man.
you're right. You're right. But I make hella bread for it, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, and they probably give you free food as well.
Yeah, they give you free food.
Wait, how much do you make an hour?
1360. So it averages about 10.4
Yeah,
US
that's
dollars.
still more than me. But then again, things cost differently up there. So.
Things cost more. Games cost $80.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking almost $5 for a jug of milk now.
Damn. Actually, I don't know how much that is American.
It's like
3,
something like
yeah.
that.
But
30.
Y'all
I'm
can,
actually not
y'all can
That's
kiss
still
my
a lot.
ass, because in California, our prices are almost Canadian prices in US dollars. So
You
get
guys don't
get
even have
fucked.
a healthcare thing up. So
Are you
it's-
serious? A gallon of milk's like $5 over there?
No, but it's expensive. Like, oh man.
Well, it's not 5 years. It's like 460 something. But
Well, yeah, that averages out. Taxes and stuff.
and then we have this in Alberta at least. We have this stupid like bottle depot or bottle deposit bullshit.
Oh yeah, we got
where
that.
for every every bottle's like 10 cents extra, depending on how big it is. So it's like
You
have
could
to go
live
back
in
to the
Seattle.
bottle depot.
In
you
Seattle,
have
they've
to go
got
to the
that new fucking
Bottle depot to get your money back. Is like why? Why
Seattle.
take it in the first place?
Seattle's new soda tax. It's almost half the price of the stuff itself.
Jeez.
Yeah, so for like
Seattle's fucked. That's
a
another state
24
that's been
pack.
fucked over there.
yeah, 24 pack of like Gatorade, the Gatorade itself costs like $22. And then there's an extra $12 tax on top of that for the new soda tax,
Fuck that.
right? Fuck Seattle. Fuck them and their stupid asses.
I was thinking of moving to Oregon, but I don't know.
God,
I
that's
don't know anything about the states.
it's
so
hippie land.
hippie land, so I
Well,
go there.
Portland is hippie land. So
Oh.
if you don't live in
California
Portland,
is pretty hippie as well. which
Yeah.
is nice.
California, yeah, don't go to California. Just stay away. We wouldn't mind
No.
if they come to the ocean at this point.
just LA and
California-
Frisco though, it's just the coastline, right? The interior is
Oh, yeah,
fine.
that's-
It's just the coastline that needs to disappear. But they're right on the other side of the fault, so come on, San Andreas Fault.
I spent so much money on the Steam sale. I need to chill.
Yeah, I spent like 80 on the Steam sale.
I spent like, let me see. I
I think
I
the
spent,
most I spent was $200.
Oh my
I think I
god.
easily spent 150 this year.
Fuck that.
That's a
We're
lot of
teenagers
money.
with disposable income, all right?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah, I do have a disposable income.
Yeah, but fucking when I was a teenager, I didn't have that much disposable income. Get fucked. Spent all my money on fucking
So,
gas.
I shouldn't be old.
I'm an adult working full
gas
time
is
right
so
now.
fucking
So
expensive. It's like, oh,
Yeah, gas is
you guys,
expensive,
You
yeah.
guys use gallons, so it's It's for liters over here, so it's like $1.20 per liter here right now.
And
Or no,
it's,
123 cents, 0.9 or something. I don't know fucking know.
which is, it's like what, 3
It's
liters?
really retarded.
3 liters to a gallon?
3.3.
3.3?
No, it's like 4. I think it's like 4 liters a gallon.
No, because
For how much?
it's 4 quarts in a gallon, and a liter is a little bigger
Oh,
than a
yeah.
quart. So I think it's like 3.3 or 3.6 liters per gallon.
Where's my phone? Okay, Google. Liter to gallon.
Okay, good.
Bitch. Okay, Google. Liter to gallon. Can't reach Google at the moment. Okay, Google. Liter to gallon. 1 liter is 0.264 gallons.
264. Yeah, so
That's
just under
slightly
4.
bigger than a quart.
Yeah, so it's probably like 3.8 or something like that. But then it's also in
That's
Canadian,
fine.
so 4 times $1.20 is 4.80. But then convert, yeah. So that's about what because it's, I think we're just under $4 a gallon right now.
Did he leave?
Huh?
Oh, someone. What?
What did Rambo
Do you
leave?
think we can get Vulpix in here?
Why?
Because he's bored, alone.
That's not my problem.
Oof.
Oh, Blue Psycho left. I
Oh,
was wondering who left.
fuck did Blue Psycho leave?
I don't know. He's sitting in audience right now.
Oh
I've been
fuck,
seeing
I
those
gotta
people
pull him
there.
up. God damn it, I have to go back inside.
Maybe misclicked. Maybe misclicked.
Probably, motherfucker. Y'all making
I need more
fucking.
roguelikes. I've been playing the shit out of fucking Enter the Gungeon.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
I said I need more roguelike games.
Oh, I thought you said Robux. No, like I actually thought you did.
You're a stupid
yeah.
motherfucker, Psycho.
my game crashed or froze. I'm not sure what.
So
it was.
why did that
The
mean you have to
Humble
leave
Monthly is
Discord?
Because it froze off completely, and I had to do a hard reset.
Oh, sucks to suck now, doesn't it?
Roguelikes. Do you have the dungeoning?
The dungeoning.
Yes.
Fuck is that?
Yeah, the game
Yes.
Rice has been talking about, Dead Cells.
Fuck anything that Rice says.
Oh, damn.
The dungeoning is
Wait.
a roguelike on Steam. It's pretty good.
I see. $7.79. I'm poor.
Yeah, I'd wait till that goes on sale.
Yeah.
Oh,
I could have picked it up like 2 days ago.
Well, I don't
know-
I don't know
I
if it
remember
was
the
on
game
sale.
I wouldn't say I'm
Dude,
poor.
yeah, I just said I'm poor, bitch.
No, because I have a lot of money saved up. Because
Die Hard Dungeon's another one. That one's more like Binding of Isaac though.
Isaac didn't really keep my interest.
Yeah, it's not really my kind of game.
Damn, I knew someone who would get pissed if they heard that.
Well,
Well, who's pissed?
they can
Bullet Berry.
they can get
oh,
pissed.
No, I was thinking Vulpix would get pissed. But
Vulpix wouldn't get pissed. Bullet Berry would though.
I don't give a shit when. Never mind.
Yeah, fuck
I mean, it's
Bullet
not like it's a
Berry.
bad game. It's just not my style of game.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I think Bullpix. Who else Bullpix? Is it?
He's
talking about the
no,
Pokemon?
he's a dude. No, he's a friend of ours. He goes
Oh,
by the name.
I thought you were
It's
talking about the Pokemon. Like, what the hell's a Pokemon gonna do?
No.
I heard Nuclear Throne is really good.
I haven't played that one. Heavy Bullets is fun. That's a first-person shooter roguelike.
That sounds interesting.
It's really interesting. You have a really limited number of bullets, but you can pick them back up and reuse them, and you keep
Oh,
you
this
keep
looks
going
dope.
through
That
levels.
sounds awesome. What's
It's-
the game called? I gotta look
It
this
looks
up.
like an LSD trip. I'm looking at
It
the
re-
screen
yeah,
right
it
now.
really does. Yeah, it's all bright
What's the game
colors.
called?
Heavy Bullets.
I picked up the Witness because it was on sale. I heard it was a good game, and then I also picked up the Humble Monthly. It's really good this month.
I rebought what's the Tom Clancy's Siege.
Oh,
Rainbow
fuck
Six?
Siege.
'Cause
Fuck
I-
Siege.
I wanted
Fuck.
another multiplayer game, and then
There's so many better multiplayer games out.
well, I have them all. I picked up Hunt Showdown too because that was on
Do you
sale.
have
That game's
Uno?
amazing.
Is it
Hunt
th-
Showdown?
is it good?
That's amazing. Oh yeah, I bought it day one.
I heard.
Day one, the game was fucking garbage because it ran like shit.
That's
I
what I
heard it
heard.
was
Yeah.
bad, though.
So I
It's still
waited
to
a
the
while.
point- it's still to a point runs like shit.
I hope they fix it up
run
then.
like half still, like completely, or is it good now?
I mean, it'll run. It runs better, but I ain't saying.
I wish it was
yeah,
on a
sure.
little more sale
It's
because it was only
very
20%.
CPU-intensive.
But
It's very CPU intensive.
oh, that sucks. Fuck, I need Ryzen 2.
Zen 2. When is Zen 2 gonna come out anyways? Because I considered and I'm gonna get the Zen 2 when it comes out.
I don't know when Zen 2 is slated to release.
Because I got
'Cause
1700.
I
I want to get Zen 2.
I think Zen 2 is supposed to be the 7 nanometer, or yeah, which
Yes, I'm happy now. I got an email finally saying where my 1080 Ti is. It's in Toronto. Hell yeah.
you bought a
Oh,
Still
1080
fucking
Ti.
3 provinces away. Yeah, I bought it from a friend.
Should have bought
He sold it to me for like
a. Oh,
$550.
all right. That's
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah,
$550 US.
Nvidia
Oh.
releasing a new GPU soon. No, that's what
No,
I'm hearing.
no,
Fuck
no,
that, I'm
no.
poor. I don't have that much money to spend.
No,
You bought
it's
a
they're not.
1080 Ti, shut up.
They
For
just
$550.
they
For
just put
$550.
out a statement that said they're not putting out any new GPUs soon.
God
And
damn it.
I'm fine with you getting that 1080 Ti because then that means I get your 1060, so
Yeah.
you know, it
Bye,
all works
bitch.
out.
I got
Yeah,
I got
1080 Ti as
Vega,
well, so we're cool.
so I'm
Well-
fucking happy.
Well, I'm poor, so.
Oh, so I was watching a live stream on one of Gamers Nexus. I mean, it's not old. It was maybe a couple weeks old, but they were doing an overclocking live stream on the Nook, that little thing that Intel put out. That's the Intel AMD where it's got the Vega graphics chipset with like an 8700K all on one die, not on one die, but on one thing. And it's a really tiny motherboard, and the whole thing is like six
Oh,
inches
yeah.
by 4 inches or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were overclocking it with this new liquid cooler they got for it. And I was kind of curious because they were doing their 3D Mark runs and shit like that. So I was like, oh fuck it, whatever. So I got the free version of 3D Mark, and I ran it.
Uh-huh.
I got into the top 93% of all people ever.
Nice. Dude, I remember I have a friend who tried to cool his 1080 Ti with liquid metal. And the
Oof.
thing about it is, since it ran at such a low temperature, it was always running at like the highest like frequency and speed possible. So after a couple months, it blew up in his computer, and it was
You got to be careful with
Like,
liquid
all-
metal, especially with
all those other parts were fine. But that card, luckily, it was an EVGA, and EVGA has the best customer service, in my opinion. He sent it out, they gave him a new one.
Another tech rumor. What was this? Intel might be jumping to the GPU market in 2020.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, they're putting out their own discrete GPUs, which I mean they'll probably suck-ish, but who cares? Because it'll be another contender against Nvidia. That's all I care about.
So
Yeah,
here's the
but-
thing. I want. What is
I
it?
don't like Intel though. I don't like them.
No, they're
so
not
it's kinda
great.
hard for- I mean, their CPUs are all right, but the problem is they still are expensive to this day, and other problems of it. Well,
See, I want AMD to be able to compete again, but they're not competing in.
they are competing with Intel.
Not a GPU market, not with Nvidia.
NVIDIA.
They're
They
starting
did.
to.
No, they did.
They're starting
They
to.
did, but the Bitcoin crisis fucked that all up.
Dude, fuck Bitcoin, dude.
No,
the
what-
Crisis.
What really fucked them up was they over-ordered 290Xs.
What was that one GPU? The RX, I think 580 or 4. What's the one with 8 gigabytes of?
480 was one of them. That was
There's-
probably the one I was gonna
There's
get.
there's both the RX 480 and 580 both have
Back
it.
when that was at normal prices, that was the best budget GPU. Like I would say, best budget
That
GPU.
that was alongside that.
That-
It was slightly higher than the 1060.
No, it was
Yeah.
way better than 1060. 1060 was only, I think, the lowest is 3 gigabytes and the highest was 6.
6, yeah.
That one was standard was 8.
Jeez. Alright.
It was
Oh,
8.
no.
And it was cheaper
Yeah.
too.
And it was cheaper. Yeah.
But it was a space heater because AMD. But besides the
No, it
point.
wasn't that bad.
No, yeah, it
was-
really wasn't that bad because it was an improvement on the
I mean-
290X, which was
Oh,
a
yeah.
space heater.
290X ran out.
God, that thing
Crazy.
ran. Even my Asus DirectCu 2, which had
My
a
friend,
massive triple fan, big honking fucking cooler, even that thing
My-
would fucking right the fuck up to 95 degrees.
Yeah, my friend had a 290X and he was ramping up like sometimes 100 in some games.
Yeah, but it was fast as fuck though, and it lasted me
Yeah.
like 8 years.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
See, like the thing with the 1060 now is like I was like, oh, this is a good card when I bought it 2 years ago, and now it's just like every game's like, hey, recommended specs, fuck you. I was like, damn.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
problem. They release a
1063 gig
five-
or 1066 gig?
I have the 6 gig.
Six.
Well,
Fuck,
hey, at
fuck.
least you have the 6 gig. Because if you had the 3 gig, you'd be fucked.
I would have been done. Yeah. No, that's why I'm getting the 1080 Ti, and for such a good price. I mean,
Well,
kinda
yeah,
hard to-
500. You can't fucking beat that.
Exactly. Like,
500.
You could
Canadian-
tu-
by the way, it's
You could
500
turn around and
Canadian.
probably sell it
yes,
for another
500
800.
Monopoly monies.
500, exactly. Let's go look up the price in Canada for a 1080 Ti.
It's like 1100 brand new.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're like at least $800 or $900
Because
in the US.
I got lucky and found one for I think 700, 750 to 800 on eBay.
1080 Ti. I'm looking on Newegg right now. Whoa, they're actually really cheap right now.
They have been going down.
Oh, this is Newegg.com. I'm retarded. My bad.
He's like,
No, they
"Oh,
have been
crazy."
going down though. There was a couple articles saying that the because everybody's
The one-
worried about the new Ethereum
Yeah. The specific one that I'm getting, which
ASICs.
is MQ-W3, is going for 1074 CAD, and I got it for 550 CAD. So yeet, I think I won this one.
Let me look at the 1080.
And it's only been used for I think a year, so fuck it.
My Zotac 1080 Ti cost 1,000 on Amazon.
I was so lucky I got my Vegas 64 Liquid, although it didn't come with the free games, which was kind of a bitch because the dude split it off. But
But you got it before.
I got it for it was just at the point they were because I think what was the original MSRP at launch for the Vegas 64 Liquids? Was it
Vegas 64 is 800.
800?
Canadian. I think it's 800 Canadian. Not sure how much that is in America.
Well, no, because it was. Oh crap! What could
I can
this?
check. Vegas 64 liquids were 700.
700.
Yeah.
And so with tax and all that, it probably would have been like 750, but that was with the 2 free games. I didn't come with the 2 free games, which was kind of a bitch, although I already owned Prey. But I got it for $800 clean on eBay. So I paid maybe $50 more than what I would have paid buying it brand new off of some reseller. And then like 2 weeks later, the price had jacked up to like $1,000.
And in Canadian, that thing was like two grand.
Oh yeah, no, dude, when I checked them a few months ago, they were going for $1,500 American.
Fuck.
Yeah, I could have sold mine for double what I paid for it.
I would have done that to my 1080 back when the Bitcoin thing was rise, but I had a friend who really wanted a new GPU because he had an old like GPU, and he couldn't get like a new one. And I felt bad, so like I'll sell you this 1080 for like 400.
I'm kind of pissed I didn't buy like 4 of
I
those
was like,
Vegas.
'cause here's the thing. Trism over here has a 950.
Yeah, that's
right?
good.
I'm gonna have a 1060 lying around, so I'm like, hey, I'll sell it to you for hella cheap, right? I got you. Like, I
This
know
is like
like,
still too expensive. $200 tool. That's like Bill Gates.
That's
whole
like
money.
what MSRP should be.
uh-huh.
The 1070 should have been gone down in price at this point, and really.
Well, they all should have gone down a lot by this point. I mean, they're just now starting to get back to what MSRP was like 4 years ago or 3 or whatever. So
Thank you, Bitcoin,
if-
for fucking everything.
right. So if they had continued the way graphics cards normally do, I mean, you should be able to. If the prices had continued the way they normally continued, then right now a 1080 Ti should be something like $400 or 450, maybe even less.
Damn.
Because like I remember it
Right
wasn't
now-
even a year after the two, or was it like a year?
1080 Ti's are close back to what MSRP because it was.
Yeah, but
700.
usually MSRPs drop though.
Oh no, I get that.
Yeah,
Fuck.
because like when I
Mine
bought my
completely fucked
290X, my 290X I think the 290X had been out for maybe like a year. I know the 300s hadn't even launched yet, so it probably was around a year after they had launched. And they launched somewhere, it was just shy of like $400, and it was on sale. It was like Christmas sale. It was on down to like $280, and then with the open box, it was like $240.
Yeah.
But it was still, and that was only a year after it launched. It was already just about $100 less than what MSRP was when it launched. So these
Yeah,
things have
now
kept
fucking, like 1080 Ti's have been out for what, 2 years now?
at least. I think it's closer to 3, but I can't remember 100%.
Yeah. So the fact that they're $100 above what they were at MSRP is absolutely retarded.
Ludicrous. Yeah. At least it's calming down, but fuck, man, it could calm
No,
down a
some of
lot
them
more.
are up there. Like I'm looking at Newegg right now. There's this the Asus Strix one. It's fucking $13.29 US.
Oh my god. $1,300
another
US?
Yeah. There's another one here. Another Strix for what? $11.35 USD. The FTW3, which is the one that I'm getting from my friend for $550.
I know the
is going
AMDs are
for
still pretty
10
up there
It's
too.
going for $10.49. What? This Gigabyte. Okay, this one makes sense. The Aorus Extreme, Gigabyte Aorus Extreme is $950, but still.
Quick question. Like, what's the difference between like the 3-fan GPUs and like the 2-fan GPUs?
Just-
Like, is there any major differences?
Just cooling.
Cooling, yeah.
Like I remember when I first got my computer, the case that I had, or the case that I got, only had one fan with it, right? Just one intake, and like my temps were up there, right? And like on top of that, I didn't know anything at this point, right? I just built it. I didn't know that the fan curve was at default and shit, right? And
That's
it was at like
That's what I
28%, 28% fan curve anyway.
Well, yeah, it's got to
So I
be
was
quiet.
Yeah, I ramped up. I think it was Overwatch, just Overwatch, and my card was running at like 80C. I was like, fuck that, right?
That's
Turn
why
it
I
up
got a
to-
liquid cooler.
Yeah, I turned it up to like 75 on the fan curve, and then I ordered like 4 fans, and then now it's running at like 50C max.
Because my computer's got like a bunch, like I think 4 LED fans plus. like,
Actually,
liquid
no.
cooler.
I got really scared the other day. I don't know what happened. I think one of my when you do an since I have an overclock applied as well, it resets it when you do any sort of like a driver update. So I done the driver update and forgot to reapply the overclock, which also in turn forgot to reapply the fan curve. So it's a default fan curve. I'm playing on my 1060 Final Fantasy 15, fucking like almost maxed out, and my card's running at like 88C. I was like, fuck, what shit? Like, no, that was scary. I never saw it I've never seen it get that high.
Also, I need AMD to compete, by the way, because NVIDIA drivers, I swear, break every game I try to play.
Yeah, I
For some
remember when
reason.
AMD had those shitty drivers, and now I hear everybody complaining about the Nvidia ones.
Oh no, my friend's card broke down because of one of the driver updates. Like there was a driver update that came out like maybe a month and a half, 2 ago, and that it was really affecting 1060s. And I read this. So what I did is like I did the driver update just before I went to bed, and so when I wake up in the morning, I'm seeing all this stuff. I'm like, fuck, if my computer doesn't work, I'm gonna kill myself, right? Luckily, my 1060 was fine, but my friend on the other hand got completely fucked over.
It
Yeah.
fucked over me. Like, I was completely triggered about it because I couldn't play certain games.
No, he couldn't launch his computer. He couldn't.
Oh,
fucking,
shit.
Yeah. So what he had to do was, fuck. What did he do again? I don't remember what the fuck. he
Now I
did.
know how AMD players feel.
Oh yeah. Like,
Not anymore. AMD drivers are solid now.
why did I spend? I actually
You
need
know
to
what?
see how much money I've spent in the past like 2 weeks.
I would consider switching to AMD, but the problem is their GPUs are still absurdly priced.
Yes. Well, they hash better than Nvidia ones, so they're keeping their value better.
View purchase history. View disappointments.
Few disappointments.
Yeah. Fuck. All right. Let's see. I just bought fucking The Witness, which is 1320, right? And then I bought Astroneer for 20. Then I bought Uno for 458.
The fuck would you buy Uno?
Cause fuck you. No, I'm kidding.
Trism,
Me
I
and
see
a-
you're playing now Trism because I'm subbed to Trism on YouTube. I just see him live streaming Uno. Like, what the fuck you doing?
Then I
Trism?
bought
Don't even worry
Kingdom
about it.
Come. I bought Kingdom Come, so $50 there.
Oof.
I
what
wish
else?
I got Kingdom Come this summer. I was too busy.
I bought Enter the Gungeon. Okay, so that's another $850. I bought 3 copies of Stardew Valley for friends and myself, so times 3.
Hey, Lamau.
Shut up, bitch. You didn't even play it.
Exactly.
Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Wait,
it's,
no.
it's as
People.
boring as it sounds.
All you are deplorables.
It's as boring as it sounds.
Like, what do you? I know Go-Get fucking loves Stardew Valley, and every
It's
time
no, it's a
I
fun
run
game.
he
It's a
gets
fun game.
triggered.
It's
Well,
a it's a
Go-Get's
lot
opinions
like
really have no value here, so like I don't know why you're bringing that up.
isn't it a
Yeah,
lot
Go-Get is also homosexual. So
is
is that.
isn't it a lot like what's that one? Fuck.
Minecraft.
No,
And then
no,
I
no.
bought my friend the Somerset upgrade for what was it? Elder Scrolls Online. So
Oh.
I spent $130 over the sale. Fuck
What's that
me.
one
Wait,
farming
And
game?
First off,
What's
I got
that?
some problems. First off, why is your friend playing Elder Scrolls Online? There's
He enjoys
something deeply
I
wrong
don't
with you
fucking
playing
know.
that game.
Okay, and then on top of that, I just bought the Humble Monthly today, so I added another
Wait,
12. I
isn't
spent
it-
$140 in the last 2 weeks. No, there's more. I forgot. I bought Subnautica, so that's another 18. I also bought Neo, which is another 34.
At
I
least
spent
that's a good game.
$192. I want to fucking kill myself.
I mean, that's some good decisions. I mean, the whole
I mean, yeah.
thing about buying.
Yeah, bro, Uno.
Yeah, Uno.
Uno, I've already I bought Uno yesterday or day before.
Hey,
day
I
before.
bought Uno as well. So
We,
maybe
we
we'll
got
play
we got it the day before. Me, Volpix, and Trism, and let me check my
and you
hours
all
right
are
now.
playing it.
You also bought it. Did
No.
you buy it for Sam?
Yeah,
What is
and
that?
for Sam. 6.4 hours in the past 3 days
7.
on Uno. Uno. Why?
Bro,
Oh.
Uno's fun.
They perma dropped the price for GTA 5 now.
Oh, to what?
They finally lowered the price.
It's 30 CAD and it's 30 USD. So yeet, we win.
It took them like 5 years, but yeah, they finally did it.
I mean, technically it only took them 3 years because it's been.
So
on
what does
PC
that
for
mean
3
whenever
years.
it goes on sale? Is it gonna go on sale for like 25?
Wait, yeah, probably.
Knowing them.
If they don't do it,
No, bro, they're gonna keep it at 30 and just throw in a shark card.
I mean, GTA Online
They
sucks.
didn't stop
Also,
them.
Dude, like I enjoy. When was it? April of last year. That's how I know Trism is from playing GTA Online, right?
how do
Me
you
and a
play it?
me and a bunch of others, we were playing this non-stop for like 2-3 weeks, no, a month straight. I want to say, right?
Yeah, bro.
And
Didn't
then-
even get off the game, bro.
We didn't. Yeah, fuck that. We didn't even close our
didn't
computer. We didn't go to
sleep.
sleep. Not school.
Bro.
Anyway, besides the point. We played the fuck out of that game, and then every update they added, it just seemed like there was more grind for this thing that you'd have
Do you
fun
mean
with for,
everything
like-
being absurdly expensive? Yeah, I know.
No, well, yeah, it's overly expensive, and then like the fun would
I
last.
love
for, like,
having to pay $20 million to $30 million for
Yeah,
a
I know
fucking
why
car.
they did
Sounds
it.
awesome.
Okay.
I
I
saw,
will
saw
argue on the
this,
side of the grind because without the grind, there's no point in playing the game.
but
It's
there's
like-
too much. There's
Yeah, exactly. There's too
If
much.
you're
of
paying
it,
$30
and it's-
million, and you can make, like, I think, $2 million a day through like CEO stuff, but the problem is you need to have a CEO building to do that.
That
That
and
will
you need to
cost,
put
I
in.
think, like
That's
5
still
or
a lot of
6 or
time
more.
to put in.
Yeah.
I think
So
the cheapest CEO building is maybe,
there was this
I'd say,
video.
like 9 to 10 million. The cheapest one is.
There was this video that I saw like a couple months ago, so the price has probably changed, but he said in order to buy every single item in Grand Theft Auto Online, every building, every garage, every car, everything in the game, it would cost you a grand total of $18,000
Jesus.
to buy everything without
And
having to like level
Hey,
up
I
or
got
anything.
Thunder Gun.
$18,000 of microtransactions in that game.
That's
The
to buy
grind's
everything?
becoming absurd, and it's not like there's any
No.
payout.
And like that's the thing. Like my friend was like, "Hey, you should come play the game with us." I'm like, "I'm not doing the grind. I'm not worth it. I'm not like it's not worth it."
And
The
I feel
payoffs-
hypocritical complaining about a grind because I play Warframe, so I feel hypocritical saying.
No,
Well, at least
feel
Warframe's
hypocritical.
a free to
I've been
play.
playing- I've been playing
Fair
Astroneer.
enough. There's
I've-
that.
I just picked up Astroneer. That's Grindfest. I played the fuck out of No Man's Sky. That's a Grindfest, right? Like,
No Man's
I don't-
Skies. I might get No Man's Sky on PC because I had it on the console version.
pick it up for on the 24th. It's probably gonna go on sale with their
Because
coming
they're
out.
having a new update that actually
Yep.
looks good, and it's gonna be co-op. But the problem is that I don't think I have any friends to play co-op.
No, I have a couple friends who have the game, so I'm fine. I'm set.
I'll have to be like, oh, Mr. Lonely.
I mean, if we have more space, I'll drag you in.
down.
Dude, like I remember how many people I convinced trying to get that, like for them to buy the game, because when the Atlas Rises update came out, that's when the game felt, in my opinion, worth it. Not at the $60 price point. I bought it because every time they do
I'll
a massive
probably buy it off a key store, not to.
no, every time they do a massive update, like so they're probably gonna put it on sale on the 24th when the update comes out. So just look out for that. But
Wait, 24 this month or
yeah,
next?
24th of this month, 24th of yeah. So they usually put it on sale when there's a massive update. I picked it up for like 25, like 4 or 5
Is
months
that
ago.
the new co-op mode?
Yeah, it's the new co-op one.
Oh my god, I need to get into that. I want to play co-op. No Man's Sky. Sounds cool.
Oh yeah, dude. Like,
And I haven't checked out the Atlas Rise update, so they had like vehicles, didn't they?
that was the second update. I don't remember what the second update is, but that was the second update. No, 2.0 was the vehicles. 3.0 was Atlas Rises that added a bunch of more missions, galaxies, or not galaxies, but planets and stuff. More here and there,
Is
more
there any
things
desert
like.
planets? 'Cause I'm still waiting for
Oh,
those.
yeah, there's desert planets for days.
And I hope it'll be able to land like on a comet like they promised you would.
Maybe we'll see, dude. Cause like I
I could
haven't
live
played
off the
the
comet thing, but I just want desert planets to be a thing, like something different.
You know a game that was hyped and I'm still waiting to hear from?
Uh,
Star Citizen.
I'm just waiting on my Metro Exodus. They fucking delayed that shit.
Wait.
2019.
Dude, it was supposed to come out August of this year. You know that, right? If you
What?
watch the trailer, at the end where it scrolls through the little numbers and letters at the end, me and my friend went down to like 0.75% and watched it back and paused it at this right moment, and it said August 8th, so it said AUG 08. I was like, fuck, right? It's coming out this year. Well, they already said it was coming out 2018, right? And so we found the date, and we were super hyped, and then they're like, nah, we're gonna delay it though, and I was like, oh.
That does give me. More
Yeah, but it's
time
only
to
like
play
February of
through.
2019.
Yeah,
That
it's
does
gonna be
give-
the first. It's gonna be early 2019. They said.
That does give me more time to play through the games the second time because I gotta get that second ending.
You know what you gotta
Sure.
do is play the game on the hardest difficulty with no HUD. That's and play it with
Oh, I'm not sure about hardest difficulty.
No.
I haven't like probably put a gun to my throat.
No, it's fun. It's like a completely. What I did hardest difficulty, no HUD, first playthrough, and I beat both of them. Like, yeah, it was fucking pain in the ass, but it was worth it. And then I changed the language to I wanna say
Russian?
German, Russian or German. No, yeah, Russian. And then so I had English subtitles on, so that was the only thing that would pop up on my screen, right? And that's it. I felt it was the best way to play the game, but the only issue is you can't understand what like the NPCs are. Okay, unless it's a direct cutscene or like person you're like talking directly to. That's the only time where the subtitles will show up. And for like people talking around you, you won't be able to know what they're saying unless you know Russian.
Hey,
Right.
I guess you're being immersed. I guess if you want the most immersive experience.
Yeah.
I know someone who was playing Kingdom Come Deliverance and they set the voices or the language to German, I think, just because they wanted to feel immersed because they thought the voice acting did have higher quality in German.
The voice acting did also have higher quality, but on top of that, the lip syncing matched up.
Was there subtitles at least for it complete?
Yeah, you can have subtitles for it if you wanted to, but he just wanted to hear it in German because it had better syncing and voice acting.
Because if I do I'll probably play through it in German because I watch ND and so I don't really care about subtitles. I just need to know, is there subtitles for everything or is it only NPCs? Like
I don't
some
mind.
NPCs
I don't
have it?
mind subtitles. Here's the thing: like, I don't mind subtitles. Right? Call me a weeb, but I watch anime subbed. I don't care. I don't want to listen to the fucking jacked up English audio.
I mean, some English.
Yeah, there's
subs
only
are
a couple.
good.
Some of them are good. Yeah.
Some of them
I'll
are
give
good,
that.
but there's only a
Like-
couple. Outlaw
Yeah.
Star is a really good
I
one.
argue that Full Metal Alchemist has pretty good English dub.
But
Like,
you
I
can't get me
argue
to watch anything like you can't get me to even watch Naruto dubbed. Fuck that.
Oh,
I'm doing this shit.
Naruto, I watched Naruto in English because that's how I first got into anime with. Call me
Yeah.
whatever you like, but I was watching it in English, and I'm like, this is really cool, but everyone sounds weird.
Well, it's a thing like, and then what is it? So I watched the entire anime subbed, and then I picked up the game. Ultimately, just to inform me, and a couple friends picked it up, and I forgot to change the language to Japanese, so everything sounded so weird. I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
I'm turning.
I literally like exit out of the match just to change my settings. I was like, nope, I'm not listening to them.
I didn't give a shit when I played because I don't watch anime.
Oh yeah, because Trism's a faggot. I mean, what?
Yeah, Trism's a fucking faggot. Nobody likes him.
Damn.
Not right, Trism.
Fuck off. I don't watch weeb shit, so
Bitch.
What do you watch then? You gonna talk?
You want to
I
show them
don't-
np.exe?
no, not really.
I mean, we
See-
just managed to see some
Wait,
good
hold on.
hentai.
Hold on,
He
wait,
shows
wait.
me some good hentai. And
Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't watch anime, but he's a connoisseur of hentai now. After I showed him hentai.
Okay, maybe. Hold on, wait. Let me
You want me to invite you to the server that he's
No,
in?
don't. Look.
That he made actually.
No, I didn't. What else did?
Fake news.
Hold
Fake
on.
news.
Here.
Richard's on fake
Would,
news.
would that be hentai of the tentacle variety?
No. Oh dear God, no.
No,
Man,
it's definitely tentacle
Somebody-
variety.
don't
oh,
know what
is
you're
it
missing.
Was it me that made the Shadman chat? I don't remember.
It was probably you. It's
Yeah.
likely.
Yeah, they don't like Shadman, so
I don't know, man. Some of Shadman's stuff is whoa.
some of Shadman's stuff like it's a bit much. AKA
The Shadman roulette, like that's
the
really
hat
taking it.
time. She's 7. You need to chill, man. She's fucking 7.
There you go. Looking shitpost.
And then I love how his comic for The Incredibles is called The Incestibles. It's just amazing. I
Don't
don't
you
know
dare.
why
I will
that
never press that. I love The Incredibles 1 and 2. I don't
Dude,
want to ruin it for me.
I was on Twitter. I was on Twitter earlier, and I just saw this article. It was like, man kicked out of Incredibles 2 theater for fucking masturbating.
I saw that. I saw that.
If I can
You're
find,
fucking
like-
lying. You have to send me that article.
It's
now.
like, dude, if you
I'll
really
put
like
it-
that, there's shit online for that, man. Why do you got to do
Give
it in
to
the
me,
movie
please.
theater?
Give me the.
Like Rule 34 exists, bro. What the fuck are you doing?
Alright, hold on.
I
Who
knew
wanted
it existed for anime because fucking I ruined my life.
Dude,
in
it
Fire
exists.
Emblem.
It exists for fucking
I just-
everything.
I just need to start a DM with you because I didn't have one.
I need fucking. There's tons of Rule 34s like
You know,
Mortal
how-
Kombat
you
has
can
some
right click
fucking-
your name and hit message, and that automatically started.
No, but it was on my phone, so.
Well,
Mortal Kombat has some pretty rough Rule 34 shit.
Oh yeah.
Mortal
M-
Kombat
Is it
has
Melina?
shit, though.
Which is the one that's got the
Yeah,
crazy
there's
mouth?
Cassie- There's one with Cassie Cage has a dick, and it's like Jesus Christ.
Have you seen Elastigirl with a dick?
Oh no! Don't you dare send me that. please.
That's probably the best thing I've ever heard.
There's
Cassie
another one
ask
where she's on the
someone.
bed in her robe, but her tits are out. It's amazing.
No, it's not amazing. I don't want to ruin The Incredibles for me. I fucking love both movies.
Dude, I do too. Like,
The
that was
second
my
movie
fucking
was
I watched the
aight.
shit out of
Movie is
it.
alright. I fucking love The Incredibles.
The first one was amazing. The first
I love both of them. Incredibles 1's obviously better, but 2 is pretty good. I
I'm
mean,
waiting.
Two is good.
I'm
Two is
waiting.
good as its own, but it's not good as a sequel. In my
I'm
opinion. That's just
waiting
me.
for the Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition to come out.
I thought you were about to say anime. What are you doing?
No. It's an RPG game. They're reworking the entire third act of the game, which a lot of people said was.
I
good.
want to give that game a try, but the problem is it's because my
turn-based.
main genre is first-person, third-person games, and some
See,
race and stuff like
it,
that.
It took me I really hesitated while buying it because it's not a cheap game. I mean, comparatively it is, but at the same
I
time,
think the
it's
most I
$50.
played of like a game that wasn't in that genre is Warcraft way back. Like no World of Warcraft.
No, it's
but
turn-based though.
Warcraft Way back.
let's see. I have.
I fucking
this is all
I
have
cannot
installed.
stand turn-based tactical combat.
I have a Hat in Time,
And also-
Asher Battle Block, fucking
I don't know,
Black
big
Ops
hit-
3. I want to check how big my Black Ops 3 folder is.
And also I'm a bit hypocritical
Big.
with it also because one of my favorite games of all time is Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, and that's a turn-based strategy game, and I fucking
I'm
love
not,
it.
I'm not a fan of turn-based, but
I'm
I
not
play
fa-
fucking Pokemon because.
I loved South Park: The Stick of Truth. That was good.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
they made fun of themselves. It's great.
my Black Ops 3 folder is just 88.5 gigs. No big deal.
What the fuck
Fuck,
you doing? What do you take screenshots of?
No. The mods. Okay, first of all, the game itself. If you have all the, you
I
have,
buy all DLC because I.
no. Like
Okay.
me and Trism, we have the Zombies Chronicles DLC, but on top of that, Activision does that sipping on that Rart juice and makes you install all the DLC whether you have it or not.
Did they actually?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's really stupid. So I
And then,
technically have the DLC.
And then on top of that, if you install all campaign multiplayer and zombies, it's like 150 gigs alone.
Wait,
right to
then
the
how
game.
come
Jesus.
whenever I got Chronicles, how come I
Chronicles was like Chronicles was separate. That's the only
Oh,
DLC that
okay.
they don't make you
It's
install.
time like the DLC 1, 2, and 3, which I played all the back on the console. They're all mediocre, in my opinion.
Revelations is the best. Don't at me.
I mean, I never played Revelations. I did play the first 3, and I was like, ugh.
I was
Horizon
wondering why I
was
still had
good.
the Epic Games launcher installed, but then
No,
I
actually,
realized-
the DLC 1 map, the one with the wolves in the wall, that
Horizon
was that was a good one.
Those are dragons, I thought. That might be wolves.
Same shit.
yeah, they're dragons.
I don't remember. I just
Same
thought they
shit,
were
different
dragons.
thing.
I just know the map is called the Iron Dragon, so it's whatever.
I remember. I was like, why do I still have the Epic Games launcher installed? But I was like, because I don't
you
fucking
used to
play.
Fortnite.
No. That's not. Then I would have uninstalled it with Fortnite like 2 months ago. Anyway, I have it because of Unreal Engine 4. I use that from time to time.
Doing what?
Why the hatred on Fortnite? I
Fuck
kind of like it
Fortnite.
now.
I fucking.
I like
hate
it. I used to hate it as well, but then I started playing it. Again,
I
and
hated it when it. Okay, I hated it before it was mainstream. I hated it even more. It was when it was mainstream. I'm starting to hate it a little bit less because it's not mainstream anymore. but I
It's still
still-
mainstream. My fucking brother
No,
plays it
at
all the
least
time. So.
at least anytime I go on Twitter or on Instagram, I don't need to see that shit. Like that
You
was the
see
most annoying
Fortnite
part.
memes or
Dude.
Fortnite. Is it
I'll
when
see
you
them
get-
now. I'll see them like once in a blue moon. Before it was like every day I'd go on, I'd see at least 5, 6, right?
Are
And
you
that's when
talking
people.
about the? I'm trying to figure out which one was it.
And there was like some fun, like there was like a couple gems in there for Fortnite, right? Like funny memes of Fortnite, and then the rest of them were just retarded. I'm like, why do you exist?
No, it's like okay. Here's the thing about
Oh.
Fortnite. I
The,
felt like
also,
every
I
time.
hate the YouTubers of Fortnite though. That's the thing.
Oh,
What's
yeah,
up, guys?
there's always-
Ali here.
Bro, I remember I used, I
Gangster, have you seen Ali's thumbnails for his Fortnite videos?
Yeah.
Just
No.
search it.
Don't.
Go look them up. You don't even have to watch the video. Just check out the thumbnail, and you're gonna want to kill yourself.
I learned the intro theme on piano so I can just meme with people. I joined into a chat, said something retarded like, "What's up, guys? I found out I was adopted," and then just play the fucking theme on the piano.
Dude, well, I
It
want
was
to get you
hilarious.
guys' thoughts. What do you guys think of ukulele?
Haven't played it.
What's that? What's
It's-
the
it's
is
the
it
s-
an instrument?
It's the sequel-ish to
Sequel-ish.
Banjo.
to...
Well, it's not really a sequel, but it's the
I never played Banjo.
yeah
Kazooie
Banjo. It's
or
the it's
ukulele.
the
Bitch. Emulate it right now.
what do they call it? The oh
I
man,
emulate exclusively Nintendo. games.
Spiritual
It's a
successor.
It is a Nintendo game.
it's the spiritual
Nintendo
successor
games.
to Banjo Kazooie.
Dude, I found it fun, but I just picked up a hat.
Apparently, everyone hated it because I watched Donkey's video on it and he was triggered really hard by it.
Donkey was triggered because it didn't have enough. Like what they promised wasn't there. It was just bland.
Well, plus people were pissed off that they took out what's
But
his
here's the
name,
thing. Okay. I know what you're gonna say. They took out JonTron.
John
Here's
Tron.
the thing.
Yeah.
Nobody knew he was in the game before they said, "Hey, we're taking him out."
Yeah. But that doesn't
So,
matter.
like,
I mean, that's the thing. If
doesn't make
if they
any
hadn't have
sense.
said anything, then nobody would have noticed. But since they
didn't
took-
have any memorable
Also-
characters.
But since they
They
took
didn't-
him out and they made a big deal about it, everybody
they did-
fucking yeah.
They
I
didn't
got
have any
some-
memorable characters. There's
I
Yuka,
got
there's
some-
Laylee, there's that
Sorry.
dumb fucking snake, right? Who wears pants. A snake that wears pants. Okay?
How does that
Sounds
work
pretty
though?
gay.
Does he just have like one pant leg?
I'll show you.
I got a YouTube. This was originally a conspiracy theory about YouTube, but now it's been confirmed as true with whole YouTube changes. Basically, what happened? Everyone heard of Leafy is here, right?
Yeah, that
he
fucker.
existed.
I'm putting it in a shitpost.
His channel was back when he was popular, and then he lost popularity. Well, it's been coming out as true that Google. It basically Leafy's here was such a problem that Google executives showed up, and they're like, "This guy's a problem." This wasn't like the YouTube CEO. This was a Google executive
No,
and the
fuck.
CEO. Like, this guy was such a problem for YouTube, and then they tested out the new system on Leafy is here, and that's
Oh,
why
okay. He's
only
finally
gets
done making
200.
videos.
Did he quit?
The last video he made was 6 months ago.
I mean, if YouTube's inspiring against him, fair enough. But the problem is, he doesn't change his content though. Like he didn't evolve like H3
See, even Pyrocynical does better than that. That's saying something, dude.
because they evolved and he
Pyro
stayed the
did
same.
evolve. Pyro did evolve.
Yeah, he did.
I enjoy watching
His
Pyro.
videos are way different now than what they used to be.
I personally like his older videos. I don't watch I used to watch them like every day.
I like his face
Oh.
cam videos. Oh yeah,
I like his face cam videos, yeah, but like the rest of them, they're not.
Sounds gay, but I like that.
Yeah, you fucking faggot. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Fuck, what the name? Okay. The
Anyways, I'm
fuck
getting
is the
tired, so
name
I'm
of that game where
looking.
you farmed and did a bunch of other shit like that? And I think
Animal Crossing?
it was originally a Nintendo
Enslavement
game.
Simulator?
It was on like DS.
Animal Crossing.
I don't think it was Animal Crossing though.
Farmville?
No, Harvest Moon. Thank you, Go Get.
Oh, Harvest Moon.
Okay, isn't Stardew Valley a lot like Harvest Moon?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Well, if you liked Harvest Moon,
Well, that's I
Stardew Valley
didn't.
isn't bad.
So
Bitch.
Yeah.
Okay. See,
Damn, he hits you with that no.
Nah, I mean I enjoy
Yeah,
Stardew
therefore-
because I picked it up. I picked it up with
therefore,
me and
you're a
couple other
faggot for liking Stardew Valley. So yeah,
friends. They really do like that.
especially buying 3 copies. That's just stupid.
All right, fuck you. All right.
That's like buying Star Wars Battlefront 2. It's like, what's wrong with
He
you?
bought it for me.
No,
I
it's
didn't
not
play
that
it.
bad. It's
Oh,
not
sorry,
bad.
J Caesar. I didn't see your. I was away from
Star
the
Wars
computer.
Battlefront 2 is a game
No,
that you
no.
shall never buy.
Oh.
Ever.
Is lethality in this server?
I don't know.
Bring him up right now. He's gonna try to defend Star Wars Battlefront 2. Fucking bring him.
Yes,
Let's get on.
lethality is in this
No,
server.
he is.
Yep.
Well,
Oh,
he
that's
owns the game.
is-
He owns the game, but he's not a defender of it by like,
Wait, lethality. That's
still-
the dude. The
he
name
still-
he's
still
gonna
bought
try
it
to
for
send me his
$40
motherboard and
US
CPU.
dollars. He still bought it for $40, even though it was off a key site. He still
I
bought
wouldn't
it.
even buy it. Ever.
Wouldn't even pirate it, bro.
ever.
Wouldn't even pirate it.
Exactly.
I didn't
Doesn't
even-
deserve to be on my computer.
I didn't even pirate Last Jedi, dude. I didn't even want them to think that they had lost a sale. That there could have even been a possibility that I would have
I
sold it.
wish I never watched Last Jedi because I don't want Star Wars to be ruined, but now it kind of ruined it. I didn't watch Solo, but then but Solo's a disaster, so I'm like, fuck you, Disney.
I won't even watch it on
Alright,
Netflix
boys.
because I don't even
I'm
want
up.
them to get a portion of anything.
I'm a hop because I'm tired.
Yeah,
And you're gay.
yeah, pretty gay.
Why you gotta expose me like that?
Expose you straight. You're going on World Star, baby.
Oh shit.
I love how I went on trending earlier today on YouTube and there was a fucking Keemstar video #1. It's still there.
Yeah, because YouTube's trying to lower him down.
Oh my god, Kotaku. Which Mario Kart 64
Anyways, I'm gonna
character
have Steve
sounds the horniest?
Yeet.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Kotaku. Which Mario Kart 64 character sounds the horniest?
What the?
Yes.
I mean, obviously Toad. I mean, what the fuck? Not even a competition, am I right, guys? Goddamn.
Definitely
Is that what
Toad.
people talk about all the time?
I wish they had an archive of the. Hang on one sec.
Bro, is this not what real gamers talk about?
It's the Mario Kart, the real-time strategy game. That's Nintendo's next game. And this game is, fuck, I'm surprised that indie dev can make such a good game like this.
What game?
Warframe.
Oh yeah. Y'all gonna hate me. I'm playing Black Ops 3 right now.
That's fine. I mean, Black Ops 3 is not a terrible game.
Well, I'm huge like into zombies right now.
I mean, you're huge into zombies, fair enough. And there's custom zombies, and zombies kind of lost steam now.
Yeah, well, I'm playing what's it called? Not custom zombies. I'm playing Chronicles. I'm playing Noct right now. I'm trying to beat my around 35. I got pissed whenever I tried sliding past a horde of zombies and my dude just sat there crouched like a dumbass. And I ended up losing like everything. And I was kind of pissed, but it's whatever.
I got some retro games during the sale. I got Bully Scholarship Edition.
Oh yeah.
I got the Apogee Throwback Pack. That's pretty cool.
Imagine if Bully came out today, though. Can you imagine?
Oh yeah.
Imagine the reaction the left would have to Bully coming out today.
Oh, is this Alchem? Yes. God. Never mind. That is not Alchem.
Man, that Guild Wars 2 thing is all over Reddit.
What
Yeah,
happened?
because that developer was such a dick. She got fired, and the worst is she's getting defended. Like, what are you doing?
What happened?
Like, how could any game journalist defend what she did? She literally said "fuck you" to like any of her fans,
There was
and the guy wasn't even disrespectful or rude. He was like, "I have some disagreements with what you said, but overall, interesting what you put out there, and I still like your stuff." And then she's like, "Well, you fucking sexist pig, go eat a dick, you fucking white male."
yeah, some dev for Guild Wars 2 said something about like stories, about what the story is going to be or should be or something. And a couple of the fans disagreed with her on the grounds that you can't really have the same kind of narrative in a massively multiplayer online game. So she accused them of mansplaining, and
You patriotic white male.
then some other dev there was white knighting for her, and they both got fired.
Rightfully so.
That's amazing.
Do
Right?
you think they might get hired by Kotaku? Kotaku might hire them.
Oh shit.
I mean, they've
Well, we
already
all know
submitted their
how-
resume. They could just go in. See, this is what I put on Twitter. You're hired.
Are you a lefty? You're hired. Like I could probably get a job at Kotaku, and I don't even have a journal degree.
Mark
I'd
Kern.
like to try to get it. There's some places I'd like to get a job at just for the meme. Like I want to try to get a job at Guitar Center. That'd be kind of funny.
Like I can make my resume. I am a daily fighter against the patriotic and evil Donald Trump and his evil oppression, his Nazi regime. My goal is to join Kotaku to spread the word that we need to kill Trump, and I'll probably get hired instantly. Hire this man now. And then I put my gender. I'm a non-binary Lamborghini Ferrari hybrid with 2 cents Brit on it. And I'd be hired in seconds at Kotaku.
Like I've not like realized more so how fucking retarded the leftist ideology is until like recently. Like especially when
How'd
you
you
come
figure
in
this out
contact.
recently? Like,
No. I knew that it was stupid, but I never fully understood. I thought I understood it. Trust me, I thought I pretty much like I knew everything there is to know about it, but now it's like, damn,
it just evolved.
it's like, damn, there's so much I didn't know.
It keeps evolving. Right, guys?
Like, every
It just keeps
time-
evolving.
Like I knew the basics of the whole social justice thing. A lot of the people that say they're social justice warriors or whatever the fuck, they're just a bunch of people or a bunch of.
And if they're
managers.
men, they're probably rapists. Shots fired.
No. I mean, it's like
Holy shit.
What happened now?
shit.
Ennies, the Gen Con EN World RPG Awards. And I guess. Is this just for. I think this is just for like tabletops type stuff. But best RPG related product. Hashtag feminism.
And no one's bought it, but that's probably gonna be like, what's the award show for Hollywood called? Like, cause there's tons of those.
Emmys
No,
or
Emmys.
Emmys and Golden Globes.
Emmys,
Yeah.
Golden Globes, all those. No movie. It's probably gonna become like those where they only have movies that were just popular for them. Like Call Me by Your Name got a shout out out of all things.
But yeah, it's not even a product. It's a fucking hashtag and it's a movement, and yet somebody nominated it for the best RPG related product.
That's, wow.
It's like they're not even hiding it at this point.
Oh no, they're completely taken over. Magic the Gathering and Warhammer 40K, and there was another one. Dungeons and Dragons. Like
I mean,
elves have
it's-
gender fluidity now in Dungeons and Dragons.
I mean, At this point, I wouldn't be surprised because gamers, we had our version of the Rebellion, but now I think it's evolving. Now it's gonna be. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be comic book gate soon,
Yeah, yeah.
or
That
table game
yeah,
gate or whatever.
that one's a little harder because it's a lot more spread out. But there's also they're saying anime fans are starting to speak up too, because there's been a
And
whole
as soon as that's what you never piss off the weeaboos. Never.
dude. There's been a whole lot of it where like what was it? I think it was
Remember when Steam, gangster? Remember when Steam tried to take away visual novels? How pissed all the anime guys got.
well, not just that, but like oh, what's the site that streams anime?
Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll. Yeah, Crunchyroll censored Danmachi, one of the offshoots of it. And then there was a couple others like the subtitles for I think it was Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
That's why you watch in sub, because you.
Well, no, they fucked with the subtitles. Somebody like one of the translators added in this whole thing about. I mean, I can't remember. Let me look it up because I can't remember if they actually put feminism in it, but it was a whole bunch of buzzwords.
Oh no! Jeez, we're gonna have so many revolts. It's like we're gonna have the entertainment civil war. I'm joking, by the way, about the whole thing. But entertainment getting a civil war.